Happy?
Yeah.
Are you gonna allow me to be happy tonight with that victory? Really, I'm ecstatic, quite frankly, at the victory. A lot of great things happened today. Just a gut check the whole way through. Both teams played so well defensively. Both offenses were, trying like mad to get something going. Kicking teams, made some plays here and there, some good, some bad. But in the end, we got it done. And, really excited. Excited for the team, and excited for the Georgia people. And when you have an open date, it's always nice to get a victory before that. I think it's a good time for us to get healthy. There's a lot of guys banged up. We should get a few more guys back that were hurt and some guys healthier that were playing wounded a little bit, which is good. We got to be wise with the time that we have. Got to figure out what's the best combination of the number of practices and how we practice, all those kind of things. But I'm proud of everybody. Really thankful for our fan base. They created a lot of atmosphere, a lot of noise. In that very last drive that they had, I mean, it got a little deafening and had to be very difficult to operate that last drive. And I want to pay tribute to our fans and the job they did.
Have you ever coached in a defensive game like this where there's been no touchdowns?
Well, when you said coaching a defensive game like this, the game that reminded me of this game was the South Carolina game in 2002 when, Pollock had his interception slash, stripping the quarterback, the ball, and the touchdown in the end zone. I think that was the only touchdown we had that day. But it was one of those gut-wrenching games where it was just every single series was crucial, and both myself and Coach Holtz, I think, were exhausted when it was over. And when I saw Coach Pinkel, he looked pretty tired, and I know I looked pretty tired, and just it takes a lot out of you, those kind of games.
It seemed like the game might have turned Malcolm Mitchell forcing that fumble and that punt return. And he ran in there late. Just what were the circumstances for him to be in the game?
Right. Well, he was in there because 81 was out, Reggie was out, and we also have Malcolm Perry. I think Malcolm plays that position as well at times, but he might have been tired. I don't know what happened, but Malcolm at one time was going to go in, and then Malcolm went in earlier in the game, and then Malcolm was coming out, and I think, Malcolm Mitchell, I'm talking about two Malcolms now. Malcolm Mitchell was coming out, and then they said get back in there to get 11, to be basically the gunner, the guy that goes down there and tries to force a fair catch, that type of thing. But it was huge. Well, the other thing that Malcolm did that I'm sure some people noticed was the initial interception of the game. He's the one that made the tackle on the 1 yard line. So if he didn't make that tackle on the 1 yard line, they score 7, and who knows what happened in that ball game. But for him to hustle like he did and get him on the ground and allow our defense to have that beautiful goal line stand, that was huge as well. So Malcolm made a couple receiver-like plays to help us win.
He's not the only guy really trying on, but it seems like Malcolm put forth more effort than almost everybody else.
Yeah, Malcolm has really, he's grown up a lot. He's grown up a lot. He works extremely hard. He has tried to be a good example. There's been a few times where he might have lost his cool in camp and didn't act like he should, get in a little scrap with a teammate or something like that. But effort's never been a problem for him this year, and he's playing, like you say, really hard. But there's a bunch of people playing hard, and he's one of them. Well, I just looked him in the eye and said, "Look, son," I said, "I want you to know I love you no matter what happens." And I'm serious, because I just can't imagine the pressure on the guy. And I just think student athletes, and maybe people in general, sometimes they feel like when I produce, I'm lovable, or I could be loved, but if I don't produce, then I don't deserve love, you know, or I don't deserve, you know, that type of objectivity. But yeah, I just want to let them know that no matter what happens to the son, I love you. And I said, now, just focus on your fundamentals. Don't think about anything else. Don't think about what happened or what could happen. Don't think about anything but your fundamentals. Do your best. And you know, thankfully he knocked it through.
Coach, some of those near misses there with Lambert, you know, a couple of those close interceptions, you know, plays close to being interceptions. They kind of play into you guys play. It seemed like you played for a field goal there on those last couple of drives.
Well, we don't mind running plays going for first downs and touchdowns. And I mean, when you think about it, this is the first game all year in the running game we didn't break a run of some substantial number. I mean, does anybody know the longest run? What was it? 12 yards. We broke out for a 12-yarder. But you know, they've not given up. I think they had one play 40 yards. I'm talking about all season long. Nothing over 40, and we had a 35-yarder, I think, one time, and Terry Godwin caught a ball. But they just don't give up big plays. It's been their MO for a long time on defense, and if you're not good enough to consistently drive the ball and continue to make good decisions and you know, convert those third downs over and over, you're not going to get in the end zone.
What's your impression of the role that Terry Godwin played tonight?
Terry played well. He had to come in and do some punt catching. He might have even been back there on the kickoff once or twice. I can't remember exactly how many times he might have been back there. But Reggie, you know, with Reggie Davis going out or being in and out, he had to step up. And I'll be honest with you, he's been fairly inconsistent in practice, fielding punts, but he was very consistent tonight. And young guys, you know, because what do you have, 6 catches and I don't know how many returns, 3 returns, punt returns. Usually when a young guy carries the ball that much, sooner or later the ball gets popped out of there. And but he did a beautiful job of securing the football. And he played big. I mean, he had a couple great, well, I think one big third down conversion. He probably had more than that, but he played well.
How much better is he than, say, the older, talking about Terry? Have you noticed in the last month and a half?
Well, you know, Terry, being a young guy, he's made some mistakes. And he's made a couple big ones that kind of hurt us here and there. But that's part of being a freshman. You make mistakes. And he's not the only guy making mistakes, but and the more he plays, the less mistakes he makes, and you see his talent begin to shine. And the guy's a very talented guy. And I mean, he's starting for Georgia for a reason, because of how he performed in practice, and so he's earned the right to be a starter at Georgia. But young guys, it takes them a while to really get used to how crucial every play is, and how important every assignment is. And I think he's learned from a few things here and there, and it's better for him.
Mark, you kind of
Florida lost to LSU, sorry. Florida lost to LSU tonight. So everything's kind of pointing to Jacksonville. Was this game kind of doctor ordered in terms of what you might face in Florida? They're a defensive team.
Well, they're a great defensive team, no doubt. You know, we'll have time to think about them, but we just needed to get this victory to feel good again. It's no fun losing 2 in a row was rough, and to get the victory again was big. But we also know that, you know, we're still in the race, and that's good as well.
What could you tell about the target call on Dom and what not having him that first half and that ball game?
Yeah, I forgot that part. So it happened in the second half, didn't it? That stinks. And after seeing it in the replay, I mean, it was a helmet-to-helmet hit, and I don't think that could have been overturned. I think the officials were right. You know, we had other guys come in and play well the rest of the game, so we'll just have to have guys come in and play well in the first half. And I'm sure Don will get in there in the second half and be hungry.
What was the big difference this week from
I don't know. I just think that, I think they're being coached well, and I think they're a bunch of young guys too. You know, they're learning as they go, and they're getting better as they go. And we certainly had some good pass rush. It wasn't always ending up in a sack, but there were some. You could see us making the quarterback move off the spot a few times, which helps a lot as well. And did get a couple sacks here and there. So they're just young, and they're learning, and they're getting better.
What did Juwan Briscoe do to deserve Juwan playing?
You know what? Every day is like a tryout out there in some ways, because there are so many young guys and so many guys that little by little are getting better, and you know we're doing a good job of observing that and trying to figure out what's the best combination. But I think the guys know that they got to perform in practice to get that opportunity, and he was doing that.
He seems to go from, a lot of times Kareem from one throw to questionable, when it comes to
sure.
throws that are in the tight windows,
I know.
passes.
Just like that one third down conversion to Terry Godwin. And we had called for a deep ball, and pre-snap it looked like they were going to be one high safety. We're going to go deep. The last second they ran out to cover two, and he did a good job not forcing the deep ball, and thankfully we protected well enough. And then he threw a BB to Terry Godwin, and Terry made a great catch and got just enough for the first down. And it was a beautiful play, beautiful decision. He did a good job of hitting some checkdowns versus some coverage that he needed to, and we got some good yardage off it. Every once in a while, first down off of it. And then there's, I got to look at the first one. He was way down, kind of deep, relatively deep in the territory. I just saw that the ball got batted up in the air, and I really couldn't tell for sure what happened. But the ball that got picked near the end zone, from what I could tell, he was just an ill-advised throw. I mean, I'll have to look at it to be sure. I don't want to be judgmental until I see it. Talk to Shotty about it a little bit, but when you're down there, first of all, it's first and goal on the 5, and we got a run pass option, and we rip it out there and end up losing 5 yards. I mean, that's sickening. And there's times where we just gotta call the run and run the run. We gotta make sure we do have the ability to do that, but sometimes as a play caller, you're like, surely he won't throw it out there, and bam, there it is, and you lose 5 yards, and that's 2nd and 10. So you're going to go from the 10. That puts you to 3rd down and 6 or whatever it was. And now instead of hammering the ball in for 7, you're taking the risk of throwing the football down there in that red area where there's not a lot of space. I even considered running the ball from the 6 or 7 or whatever yard line we were from, just to make sure we got a shot at some points. Because it was just that kind of game. But on the other hand, if you get 7, that might have been insurmountable at that point. So we went ahead and threw the ball, and about got burnt because of it.
Is it a little bit of a teaching moment for you that maybe you guys didn't put up a ton of points, but at the same time you were able to move the chains first down, keep the defense fresh, and when a defensive struggle like that, the importance of moving the football?
Yeah, I think if the offense did anything, the offense did that. We were at 9 out of 19 third down conversions, which is probably the best we've had all year. We held on to the ball, and we had, our defense, I think, had 40-some plays, whatever it was, and to our offense is 77 or whatever it was. So that was positive, no doubt. In a battle like that, that was good. But part of the reason why defense only played 48 plays is because they got off the field. 2 out of 13 third down conversions that our defense won. We won 11 out of 13. We won on defense, so that was huge too.
How big is this bye week going into Florida in 2 weeks?
We need the bye week. We're tired. Coaches are tired. Players are tired. Players are sore. Some guys are coming off injuries. You know, a guy like Isaiah McKenzie will probably be back. I mean, he was kind of jumping around in pregame warm-up. He thought he was going to play. I'm like, you're not playing today, so don't look all happy all of a sudden. Couldn't practice all week, now you're all revved up, ready to go. But, you know, Cublano's ankle, I would think, can heal up pretty good. And, you know, I know Sonny's kind of banged up. And I know there's a bunch of defensive guys, Quincy Lauger, Chris Mays, trying to get some other guys, even Jordan Jenkins, you know, I think Jordan will be back. So it'll help us. It'll help us for sure.
Mark, this is a third straight year against Missouri that Brendan Douglas has sort of been forced into a bigger role in the game plan circumstances. How hard is it to come in at a very fragile time for the team?
Yeah, Brendan is, he's just a solid person, a solid football player, a guy that we trust. You know, he just creates such good habits in his life and in practice that we're not surprised that he performs when he's called upon. And I'm sure he'll earn, you know, what he did would earn him, you know, more play time. I think he did a nice job.
Mark, how do y'all score more points on offense?
How do we do that? Well, the usual way. Maybe throw a bomb and catch it one time here and there, or bust out on a run, or just, you know, move it down the field and make your 4th and short. And, you know, just some days it doesn't happen. It didn't happen today.
Last question.
Coach, before you make the call on a play like the onside kick, is that something you go over, you know, talk to Coach Pruitt, and can you guys hold them if we don't get it?
We talked about that before the game even started. We really liked what we saw on film. And then, you know, I'm watching them, and they did exactly what we hoped they would do. And then I didn't realize, you know, that the kick came short of 10. I mean, it was there. There was no question it was there. We all knew it was there. And we wanted to be aggressive in that way. I mean, when you think you got it, it's a calculated risk. And, you know, I talked to the defense about it last night. I told them, I said, after the first score, we're gonna bunt it, you know, and just get ready. If we get it, we still possession. If not, we're gonna bow our neck and play defense. It's just the risk that you take. But yeah, we had decided that a couple days ago.
Okay.